Happy holidays to the whole ukulele community. I've just created an easy to play arrangement for Greensleeves. It's available at a link down below. After I play it for you, I'm going to break down some of the tricky sections and also offer you some great tips on how you can really make your ukulele sing and sound beautiful. This video tutorial is also a sample of what you'll receive in my upcoming ebook Chord Solos Volume 2. There's going to be 20 chord solos. Each one has a video tutorial to go with it. If you want to get yourself a copy, sign the mailing list down below to keep in the loop of when it launches. Thanks for being with me, and now here is Greensleeves. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And of course, you can repeat this and begin to ad-lib different tone colors, rhythms, and trills. Now, there are a couple of nice things that we learned through learning this solo. If you're enjoying this so far, do me a huge favor. Click the like button and please subscribe to this channel to keep in the loop of all the videos that I offer here at the channel Ukulele Zen. Now, one of the main goals in playing any chord melody is to have the melody really ring out, be smooth and connected. So the way we do this is first just play the melody, and that'll be at the top string mostly. Now, that is not a difficult concept to understand, but how do we make our melody smooth? Here's a right hand tip, then a left hand tip. So your picking hand, when you're picking, whether you're using your thumb or your fingers, try to pick in such a way where you let the string ring for its entire value. All right, so notice I'm not playing the string and then touching it. I'm not making it separated. I'm trying to connect each pick. And this is a great exercise. You could just do this for a few minutes. Try to connect notes clearly, just the open string, keeping whatever finger you're using to pick, keeping it away from the string until it's time to activate it. Now, for the fretting hand, the way we connect the notes is by the timing of this hand telling this hand when to pick. So the fretting hand's timing, when it lands on that fret, that is exactly when I pick. You can imagine that the fretting hand is driving the engine. So although our sound is created with our picking hand, the quality of our sound is all about the timing of this hand telling this hand when to pick. So I'm paying attention to when this finger lands on that note. That's what makes a smooth and connected melody. When we put this all together, another goal is to have multiple parts coming out of the instrument. You could think about the melody as the top part. The chords and the inner voices are going to be the supporting parts. Now, the chords are pretty straightforward. The inner voices are very often going to be an open string. So you see how that open string is like another part to the arrangement. There's another open string. It also creates a harmonic bed for the melody to live on top of. See, I'm using open strings. And you can add your own, all right, as well, just picking different notes of the chord. So right now, let me show you a couple of tricky situations and how to work through them. In the first phrase, this can be a tricky change, especially for beginners. What's happening is we're moving from the A minor chord up to the C chord and then to this G shape. Now, actually, this is a G5 chord. It's not really a G major chord, but let's call it G. Frets open, 2, 3, and 5. Now, holding down the shape cultivates a hand where you have one finger per fret, which is very handy for scales, to have that parallel hand. So I would recommend first just making friends with this shape and imagine the solo as crossing a stream. Okay? You're moving from this rock to this rock, and then this rock comes about. Now, that is not a difficult concept to understand, but how do we practice it? Here's my recommendation. Let's just isolate this motion. And in order to make this feel easy, a couple of suggestions. Stop the picking, lift the hand up, and form the shape hovering above the frets, and then just touch. Because we're not making any sound, our touch can be light. It's kind of liberating to take the picking out of it. We can just work on the fretting hand only. Then, see if you can smoothly connect it. Boo, doo, da. Notice I'm not trying to rush. Ba, ba, ba. The goal is to land all the fingers at the same time. And in order to pull that off, we'll want to go very slowly at first. It doesn't take many repetitions until you're able to pick up the speed. But I encourage you to not rush through that first step of just hovering the hand lightly. It's as if you're having a slow motion ballet with your fingers. And just like a ballet dancer, always landing lightly on the dance floor, your fingers are landing lightly on the fretboard. All right, one more tricky section here. And it's a really lovely passage. It's where we're moving at the end of the phrase from the A sus to the A major. This, of course, you'll need a low G tuned ukulele to pull this off. You can still do it on high, but the notes will be up an octave. We begin with the A sus, 2, 2, open, open. And this really wants to resolve to the A major. But I put a Baroque-like cadence onto it. Pick, stretch your pinky out, and there we go. Here's another situation where the parallel hand is really helpful. It helps to cultivate it. I would recommend that you have a fluidity in the hand. See how my hand kind of dances back and forth, and that motion is really from the elbow. Right? The more and more we pay attention to the fine details of a piece of music, we'll start to see what it is really trying to show us. Now, there's just one last tricky thing, and it is at the E7 chord on the second page. A little embellishment there. So I begin with an E7, then I play with the pinky. Now I'm going to reform the E7 with the third finger, leaving my middle finger free for. And then we release and go up to the high C. So just like before, practice just left hand only. And pretty soon you'll understand what it feels like to be very light on your fingertips. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you had a good time with this solo. Remember, you can get a copy of it at the link down below, and be sure to sign the mailing list to keep in the loop of when I launch my upcoming chord solo book, Volume 2. Every solo is going to have an extensive video tutorial to go along with it. Wishing you and your family all blessings. Have a wonderful holiday season, and I'll see you in another video sometime soon.